The Handmaiden is a 2016 Amazon Studios produced film that's written and directed by Park Chan-wook. So before I get into this film, I gotta say, it feels pretty good to be back in the studio again. Well, it's not really a studio, it's really just the sad corner of my room with my computer and fucking Blu-rays behind me, but that being said, I know lately I've just been doing car reviews, but, I'm gonna try to get back into the momentum of giving you guys these more professionally produced reviews, because I just think y'all deserve a bit more than just constant car reviews. But anyway, all that aside, The Handmaiden is a film that I've been highly looking forward to for a very long time. It's like one of my most recommended films from my friends and my subs. And, as far as Park Chan-wook as a film director, I've only seen Oldboy from all of his films. And, I haven't done a review for that or anything. But, just a quick spoiler alert, I actually really enjoy that film a lot. Most people really enjoy that film, so that was kind of a given. But that film has a lot going for it, and that film is just a tremendous thrill ride from start to finish. So, obviously, with that being said, I went into The Handmaiden with the highest of expectations, because how could I not? And, I'm just gonna flat out say it, guys. The Handmaiden is a goddamn masterpiece of cinema. I absolutely loved this film from start to finish, and there's just so much about this film that it has going for it that I consider to just be god tier on the cinematic level. Let's just start by saying that the acting across the board is absolutely incredible. The amount of dedication that each actor put into their performance is just absolutely remarkable. I also learned that I think some of these actresses and actors didn't know the Japanese language, and they actually had to learn it for this film. So, just that notion alone, it's pretty incredible to see, how well they were able to speak the language in the film, because, I'm not sure, because I don't speak Japanese or would know what, a good sounding Japanese person would sound like. But, I've also read up that people who do speak Japanese and have watched this film, they say that they spoke the language incredibly well. And that's just, that's highly commendable, I'll definitely have to say. And, apart from the acting, this film is just, every aspect of this film in terms of filmmaking it just blew me away. The direction, the aesthetic value, in terms of the cinematography and the score and the sound design, the production design is incredible. The costume design is just so incredibly detailed. It is meticulous. And the writing and the storytelling of this film is it's something else, guys. It really is something else, because I went into this film obviously thinking it was going to be great, but I really didn't think it was going to be this fantastic. I really didn't think it was going to blow me away this much, because, I've seen a lot. Well, I actually haven't seen a lot of Korean cinema. I've only seen a decent handful, but I haven't really seen a lot. But, when it comes to films like Burning, I think it's a great film, but it didn't really blow me away. Parasite kind of blew me away, but I did have some issues with it that kind of took me out of the film. But I still think that's an amazing film. Top 5 of the year material for sure. But The Handmaiden is the first Korean film that I've seen that just absolutely blew me away on every single aspect of filmmaking. And like I said, it just has to do with this film's vision. This film is incredibly visionary. And when I was watching the first act of this, I was thinking, man, this is a pretty good film. But I didn't think that, this is absolutely breathtaking. But just the twists and turns that this film makes, and just how it recontextualizes scenarios, is genius. It really is filmmaking genius. But honestly, I can also see some people not being able to really appreciate or handle some of the content that's in this, because there is some intensely graphic sexual content in this film that not only just happens one time or a few times. This film has a lot of different moments that are just kind of sometimes hard to watch, just because it just goes all the way with what it's trying to do. And it's as you're watching it, you're kind of thinking to yourself, is all this necessary? But once it's all done and once it's all wrapped up, at least for me, I thought, wow, yeah, I can definitely see why the director chose to go this far with it. And as I was saying, it has a lot to do with the recontextualization that's just, hammered throughout this film. pretty much the reason why this film to me is absolutely brilliant is because of that recontextualization. It gives you a context at first, and then as the film progresses, it provides a new context to what you thought you knew. And the way that it does this throughout the film is just so clever, and it just adds new thematic layers to what you thought you knew already. And I love that aspect of this film because it was just so creative. And I just can't really give it enough credit for that, because that to me is the reason why this film is just incredibly brilliant. But on top of that, this film has a lot more to offer too. Like, it's just brilliant in every aspect. I mean, it's thematically insightful. It's emotional. It's darkly hilarious at certain times. It's artistically risky in a lot of different ways. Again, this is just a really visionary film, even in terms of the camera work. You can tell that it's stylistic, and the director definitely had a hand in what he wanted to do with the camera. And this film is just, to me, it's the whole fucking package. It's the whole package that delivers on every aspect of filmmaking. And I love films that do that. Like, those to me are the films that I consider masterpieces. Films that exceed on every aspect of filmmaking. And this film is exactly that. And this film also achieves a female empowerment theme as well, without being preachy about it, without being so cookie cutter, without being so forced. This film, like, these are the kinds of, female empowerment films that I would love to see. But, instead we get bullshit like the Charlie's Angels remake, and then, they want to blame sexism as the reason why it's not doing good. No, those films aren't doing good because it's just so ham-fisted and so cheap. This film achieves that, a similar kind of theme, but by doing it in such a genuine, natural way. And it's just so refreshing to see a film like that actually take that, thematic element on and just do it with finesse. And it was just, I don't know, this film, I really, really enjoyed it, guys. And I really didn't expect it to really enjoy it this much. Because usually when films are hyped up that much and people call them masterpieces, I'm like, I'm sure it's great, but there's no way that it's as good as everybody else is saying. And I experienced some of that with Parasite, but don't get me wrong, I don't want people to think I hate Parasite. I think it's a brilliant film. I just don't think it's as perfect as some people were saying. And honestly, after watching The Handmaiden, I'm not for certain, but it seems that Parasite may have took a little bit of inspiration from The Handmaiden, because there are similar themes about classism in here, and it's even done in a really similar way in terms of, a poorer family trying to swindle a more upper class family. And that kind of same thing is occurring in this movie to a certain degree. And I don't know, I just thought this film was absolutely brilliant, guys. Again, the recontextualization is phenomenal in this film. I can't give it enough credit for that because it was just done in such a clever way. The cinematography, the vision for this was it was so easy to watch. Like, this film's visuals, it's just so appealing to the eyes when you're watching it. And, everything else, the production design, the costume design, the acting, I mean, just how far some of these actors and actresses went is incredible. You have to give them so much credit for how far they went in this film. And, yeah, it's really great, guys. But like I said, this film does have some graphic sexual content in it. And, I don't know what everybody's threshold is, but it does go pretty far with certain things. I've even heard some people say that, it's pornographic, which I'm not gonna say that it's not per se, but it's definitely the most thematic porn you'll ever see in your life. But yeah, every aspect of this film just blew me away to a whole other level. I am incredibly impressed by this film. So I'm going to give The Handmaiden a 10 out of 10. For those who watch this channel, y'all know that I don't give 10 out of 10s out very often. I mean, I will say that I'm fairly lenient with my grading sometimes, but, I'm not one that just hands out perfect grades for films. It really takes a lot for a film to achieve a perfect rating for me, so that should really be saying a lot for this film. So, yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say about it, guys. I'm so happy that I finally got my thoughts out there. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm pretty excited to talk about it. But I am so happy that I was able to watch this film in recent time. And, yeah, I highly encourage everybody watching this video to go and watch this film. Do proceed with caution because of the content, but I'm telling you, I think 9 times out of 10, you're going to be enthralled by this film because it just achieves so much. That's all I got to say about The Handmaiden. If you really enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.